And I'm just kind of looking around and I'm thinking about a lot of the experiences that I have had personally in my life. And there are so very few people that are willing to do the work that it takes to change. Okay, so I I swear that my phone always brings me exactly what I need to hear. And I just got done this morning recording an episode and I get in my car and I'm on my way to Costco and or no. I was on my way. I took two trips already today and it's only like 11:30 or something. Anyways, I was on my first trip out after recording a video. And anyone who is listening to my channel is probably also listening to all of those trending Abraham Hicks videos right now. And they're talking a lot about the vortex and aligning our frequencies and, all this and that. And so Esther essentially said that that everything that we're waiting for is just waiting for us to align with it. And we ask all the time, like, okay, what are the timelines? Like, when am I gonna receive this? When am I gonna receive that? And she was saying, she was saying that when we choose to be happy, because we're constantly just reacting to our surroundings all the time. And then I pull into my apartment parking lot, parking space, whatever. And the maintenance people have all this stuff out there and I can't get into my parking space. And I was like, get it like in my mind and I had to like park really far away and which is like no different than going to Costco, right? But it's different when you expect to be able to park in your parking. Look, I'm making excuses. So so that happened. It was like immediate and I was like, oh, okay, boom, negative thoughts, boom, negative thoughts. And then I come into my house and my video is still not exported and I can't download it and all this other stuff. And I'd already been gone for like 30 minutes and I'm like, oh, my internet sucks and my computer sucks and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you bouncing back and forth between like negative, positive, negative, positive? And it hit me. And I was like, oh, because you're catching all of your negative thoughts and they're coming like literally night and day, night and day, night and day. And you're proving to yourself how quickly you're snapping back and catching it. And so they're being presented so you can snap back and catch it and snap back and catch it. And one of the things too is I feel like when we set our intentions for certain things, like I ask if I'm starting to go down like a rabbit hole because of where I live, there are a ton of cars around. Um, parked, but tons of cars. And so people are always locking them. And so I asked the universe to send me a sign, whether it's a noise in my house, like my heater will sometimes make a popping noise, or the pipes make a popping noise because it's so hot that my heater is not on and has not been on for a while. And so I'll be like sitting on the couch and 99.9% of the time we're in our heads and I'll be like doing something and like thoughts will be going and then I'll hear like a car lock, that like beeping noise or like the stuff in my house. I don't know. The stuff in my house will like pop and make noises and I'll catch myself like that too. So just being super aware of our thoughts. And then I'm on my way to Costco. And when I get to, or while I'm on my way to Costco, another video plays. And in this video, they're talking about like boundaries and the people that are around us and how we have very specific people in our lives that we actually only owe things to. And then I was like listening to it and comparing and contrasting what I had said in my last video. And I am very certain that this was not the message, but this is what I walked away with. Fuck everybody. Like, that is what I walked away with. Like, if we sat here and said the things that were on our mind, we would automatically be in alignment with who we are. Instead of like what I was saying this morning, is if you were raised where you were told to not don't say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Be kind to everyone, be compassionate to everyone. And I'm just kind of looking around and I'm thinking about a lot of the experiences that I have had personally in my life. And there are so very few people that are willing to do the work that it takes to change. And there are so many people who are, and I know this is going to sound terrible, but aren't even willing to take accountability for their own actions. And like in AA, they have this like take a personal inventory. And you're supposed to be like super honest. There's like some terminology that's with it, but brutally honest. That's what it is. To be brutally honest, but they consistently make justifications for their justifications for excuses so that way they can stay in their comfort zone and not stretch out beyond it. And all that is your brain telling you, well, no, here's the way to stay safe, or here's why you're going to justify your behavior, or here's why you should avoid this situation or that person or whatever. And I do think that we really need to tread with caution when it comes to who we allow into our inner circles and who we give our energy to and who we are willing to listen to tell us, what's going on in their lives, and having empathy for people, because every time we do that, we're giving away our energy. And I'm not joking when I said that some people are just literal decoys in our life to derail us from our path. And not everything that glitters is gold. So therefore, not everybody that you cross paths with is there to help you move forward. And it doesn't matter what's coming out of their mouth. It doesn't matter what they're trying to show you. Their purpose, whether they're conscious of it or not, is to derail you. So if we think of it like a video game, like this world's a video game, like like we came down here and to create and to manifest and to do the things that we love, like just like they say in those Abraham Hicks videos, like nobody was like, yeah, I'll go to earth and be miserable and spread my misery and struggle and suffer. That sounds wonderful. And some people are here under this misconception that life is miserable and life is horrible. And we can see through those people like right away, like, you're draining my energy. You have such a negative outlook. But what about the people that are coming in and they're like, I'm so happy and da 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 da, but then they like hate you on the back end, or they're jealous or envious of you, but they keep putting this front on like everything's good and like you're this wonderful person, and they just want to like help you through all these things, and you feel this love and you feel like this is a comfortable space to move forward, and then boom, like everything blows up and you're like 10 steps further back, or you're so affected by whatever it was that happened that you're like in this rumination for days before you're able to like let it go, or it's so bad that it causes you trauma. And moving forward, you start doing this compare and contrast. Well, I don't want to do this again because this happened last time. And like, we shouldn't be scared of anything. We should just be aware. Be aware of our surroundings. Be aware of the people that are around us. Be aware, oh my gosh, I can't even say this one enough, of what people give you. Okay, so because everything is energy, everything. If somebody could give you something, a gift, and they could have positive intent towards it, but a majority of their subconscious mind is, having doubt in you or thinking negatively, like, maybe you just changed your hair, or you changed the way that you dress, or you're trying something new out, or you bought a new car. And so while these things may not seem detrimental, and they're not going to tell you they don't like your hair, they're not going to tell you they don't like your car, they're not going to tell you they don't like all these new things that you're doing or trying. Instead, they're gonna be like, oh wow, yeah, that's really cool. I'm saying me, like whatever. Um, and then they give you this gift. And all of that negative energy that they have, just like being haters, talking to people, getting on the phone and being like, oh, so and so just got a new haircut. I really don't like it. Or they put blonde in their hair and it looks stupid and blah, blah, blah. Or they just got this new vehicle. I would never, yada, yada, yada. And all of that is just an energetic and verbal attack for what's going on in their shadow self, their subconscious. And then they give you this gift and it comes with all that hatred, and it comes like it just radiates that energy because that's their true feelings and their true thoughts that they're not able to share for whatever reason. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They want to avoid conflict. They don't actually hate you, but they don't think that highly of you. They don't have your best interest in mind. And we hear all the time, like, if people had your best interest at heart, then they would tell you the truth. But if you notice that we get set up a lot and we get into like these positions in life or relationships in life where it's like you can't tell the truth to every single player in the game, if that makes sense. Let's use like a professional setting, for example, because you have to put on this front and like you want to tell this person, the truth about something. Like maybe they're buying a product that has gotten a lot of returns, but then you also have to make the sale, or maybe you make commission off that sale or whatever. And so you're like in this catch 22. And if you tell them the truth and they're not going to buy it, then you won't make the money or you won't make your numbers. And it's like the higher up the food chain you climb, like the tighter the squeeze of the positions that you get stuck into and decisions that you have to make. And very few people can actually walk that path authentically and with like such grace, where they're still making an impact for the company and an impact for their people, and being able to just like be straightforward in all aspects of whatever it is that they're trying to execute, and to like, I guess, to like just truly be a good leader, right? But the higher that we climb, whether it's in the educational system or in a company or like a corporate setting, it's like the tighter the squeeze, like the harder it is to truly authentically be yourself. And it's like your soul's been sold, and oh my goodness, I could just go on and on. But anyways, so then I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, if we just think of everything as a video game, and having boundaries is literally just like unaliving someone in a video game. It's like deleting them from your life and not even taking the risk. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm too old and I've been through too many situations, and I've walked away flabbergasted from situations like way too many times. And I'm just like, God, how did that happen? Or like, why would that person act like that? Or I would never believe that they would do something like that. Like, I feel like the Cat Williams white people. Like, that's how I feel when I walk away from situations. I'm just like, just in like complete shock. Like, what? Like, you had all the warning signs, bro. You had all the warning signs. So now let's backtrack and figure out where you made those mistakes. And I believe I've said this before, but if you ever watch like Bruce Lipton, I think it was him. He was somebody was saying that whenever we refer to heaven, we always refer to it as home, like we're going home. So therefore, we're on a vacation essentially right now. We're here with purpose. We're here with the ability to create and manifest and do differently. I am going to say though, in all honesty, that I feel like there's a very not a very small, but there is like a smaller percentage of the population um that has the ability and the drive and the ability to believe in the law of attraction or manifestation in order to actually make it happen. Because if you don't actually believe in it, and this is what I tell people too, is like just look back in your life and think if you've ever wanted something and then even if it took a couple of years that eventually you got it, like maybe there's a type of a specific car that you wanted or a job that you wanted or a bag that you wanted or a vacation that you wanted to take, like something that you wanted and you didn't let go of it. That's the law of attraction. That is the obsession that I was talking about, that desire. And maybe you didn't even make any plans, right? You weren't like, I'm setting aside this much money, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to work this many hours and I'm just not going to eat this month. Like, I'm going to call my friends for rides, whatever the case may be. You may not have been actively working towards that thing that you wanted, and yet somehow you still got it. And that's just the magnetic abilities that we have when it comes to everything being energy. Um, so I don't I don't believe that everybody in this lifetime is going to be able to break down those barriers of doubt or break down those the self-defeating beliefs and the energetic blocks that stop us from being able to get to where it is that we want to go. And that's just the reality of it. I think that some people are here maybe in this lifetime because they're still working on their character development, their soul development, and they're not in a position or a place in any way, shape, or form to even wrap their mind around the law of attraction. But I do know that there is a huge influctuation and reincarnations of people who are very high level soul beings at this point in time that are out here that are talking about it. And they're not talking about it because it's making them any money. Like they're not, well, for some of them it is, but they're not talking about it because they don't believe in it. Like they're only talking about it because they experienced it. And if they didn't experience it, then everyone's going to look at them like they're crazy. And if everyone thought that they were crazy, then they wouldn't be so big on all these platforms and people wouldn't be utilizing it in their own lives. Like there is so much information that you can access on the law of attraction without having to spend a penny. There's so much information that you can access, but the biggest wealth of information that you are going to get is going to come from your own personal experience, your own application of manifesting the things that you desire. And like I discussed previously, is everything was once somebody's thought. Everything around us was once a thought that turned into an actual working thing or something that was going to benefit somebody else's life. And then for some reason, after all of these hundreds of billions of years, we feel like, oh, there's just no room for us. Like, oh, there's no more space. Oh, it's over flooded. Oh, I'm never going to make any money. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, that person already has all the friends that they need. I'm never going to get an opportunity to work with them or whatever the case may be. Like, we literally live in a world of abundant supply. Like, we have multiple billionaires on the planet with multi-billions of dollars. Like, I think honestly, that's really like the new $1 million goal. Like, I remember in the 90s, if somebody had $1 million, it was like, what? A millionaire? And now we have billionaires and oh my Lanta. So, anyways, so we live in this world that is like constantly abundant. And for some reason, some of us are walking around like it's too late for me. Like, no, you're living, you're breathing, you are able to wake up and, be grateful for everything that you have, be grateful for your health, be grateful for the pillow that you sleep on, be grateful for the ground that you walk on, be grateful for the beverage that you drink, for the food that you eat, like everything. Because, like what I was saying earlier, is if heaven is home and when we're in our soul form, I don't think that we taste things like how we do here or feel things the way that we feel them when we're here. We have all of our senses for very important reasons. And so, and that's why we also have to be really good in our BS meter and, being able to recognize when someone is BSing us. Like, I just listened to an interview where this scammer, like big scammer, right? I'm not gonna give out too many details, but was uh, okay, it was like a health ordeal, and then he contracted with an even bigger scammer who like tied people up by contracts, but he was like such a big person that like anybody who got the opportunity to work with him would have been like, just like, but really he got to where he was going because what he would do were these ironclad contracts, and he had the platform, he had the money, the other person had the idea, and that's typically how it works. So when your BS meter is in alignment, what should happen in that scenario is the person with the idea gets to influence the person with the money and teaches them something, and then the person with the money supports the person with the idea, and then they come together and it's a beautiful happiness, right? But the person with the idea got screwed over by the person with the money, and the person with the idea was just a huge scammer. And then it turns out the person with the money is only rich because he's the scammer, and then the scammer was mad at the about being scammed and not being able to scam other people because of this ironclad um contract that the other scammer put on him. And I was just like, oh my God. So we have to have our deception radar on point. And that's why I'm telling you, when I'm looking around and I'm evaluating people and places and things, and like to be careful, like we really only owe a very small population anything. We are really here for ourselves. Like, if you have parents that you have to take care of or children that you have to take care of, that's a different story. Or if there's, some sort of situation that you're in where you're fully responsible, that's different, and some people don't even want to take care of their parents because they were treated so poorly by them, or they're wrapped up in this like codependent relationship where even though they're treated so poorly that they feel this desire to like be there for them, to like redeem themselves in their eyes. And like, I don't know, I've just I've worked with a lot of people and I've heard a lot of things. So, anyways, if you're responsible, there's usually a very small population of people that you are truly responsible for giving your energy to, for giving large sums of money to, depending on your situation. Obviously, if you were like that scammer businessman, but you were a good person, then maybe you'd be a philanthropist and not like a business scanner. But as we're making our way to the top, we're manifesting the things that we love, and we're creating this life that we live in. And like I said, I feel like only certain people can truly grasp this, because the level of open mindedness and spirituality and the amount of research that you do is nothing compared to your own personal experiences. So use your own personal experiences. And I can't tell you how many times I have heard people talking about their vision boards. And so let's say it's like 2013. And then by like 2018, like some of the things that they find their vision board and they're like, oh my God. And like some of it actually came true. Like I have heard of people who had put houses on their vision board and then found their vision board like a decade or something later, and they bought like almost the exact same house. I remember wanting a very specific car only because of the paint that was on that car. Like in my mind, only that car could have that paint. I don't know. And maybe actually. And then fast forward a few years and like through some like other BS. And all of a sudden, I'm getting that exact same color paint, only it's called something different, on a different car. And I had literally manifested what it was I wanted. I went from being an alcoholic to sitting in rehab, being like, if I ever make it out of here, I've got to help people. And no offense to anyone who's a sponsor, but I was like, if I'm going to dedicate my time and my energy to people, I want to get paid for it. So then I was like, I'm going to be a substance abuse counselor. I still had alcohol pumping through my veins. Fast forward a couple of years, boom, almost done with my master's. Like, it's crazy. And I never in a million years imagined that. I never in a million years imagined that I would have some of the things that I have today. I have literally gone through and cleared out my Amazon cart. And I think I might have said this before because I did this not too long ago. And I had things that were in my Amazon cart that I didn't purchase, that I didn't, buy off Amazon, that I had somehow accumulated over the years. And because it had been a long time since I cleared it out. But it just happens. You just align with the frequency and be careful about who you have around you, because not everybody is here for your highest good. But I'm also not saying go out and treat everyone like a-holes or keep everyone at arm's length or anything like that. I'm just saying read between the lines. Yeah, not saying like be traumatized by the human population, because we do need each other, but be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your people, be at, be at the bottom of the people that you surround yourself with. Like, make yourself question if they actually really want to even have you around them to some sort of extent. Like, you're not on their level yet, but you literally are the people you keep yourself around. So if you have people that are lazy and they're not doing anything, and maybe lazy is a harsh term, but if they're not being productive, or they aren't, building for themselves, or they're not setting new goals, like I would rather have someone around me that was like constantly setting new goals and like failing to execute them, but chasing after them, because that's at least a start. And they're busy and they're learning and they're being productive, even though it can be kind of hard to sometimes hear like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this, and like nothing ever comes to fruition. Um, it's not hard. It's like just keep cheering them on, because they are consistently working towards that next best thing. Again, like that goes back into the whole deception thing. You want to check their intentions. And I mean, we all have very specific lessons to learn about our interactions and the people that we attract to us. We all attract different types of people for the most part. And there is something to learn from the people that we're magnetizing, like the codependent and the narcissist, that opposites attract ordeal, because that's very true. Opposites attract. And not everything that glitters is gold. And I think I'm going to leave it there for now. All right. Love you.